Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Bonya the Simplifier. As always, I said I'll simplify things for you for your better understanding. Today I want to talk about taxes. I want to talk about why as a country we need to think of reducing the taxes we are levying on our citizens. And I believe this one will spur our economic growth going forward, but it will take time. But as a government, you need to be patient so that you can realize this. First of all, I want to give a definition of what is tax. And then we go down to maybe now try to simplify these things, and for your better understanding I try to make it simpler for you to understand why I'm talking about the government reducing the taxes that they are levying the people, and how it will spur economic growth in this country. First of all, I want to note I'm not an expert. Neither do I claim to have a monopoly of wisdom in these economic matters, but my opinion has been shaped by what I want to call the Laffer's curve, an economist in the US, and also the experience I've had in life and in school. I want to give a definition of what is tax, and it's according to Oxford Dictionary, and you allow me to read that one from the Oxford Dictionary. What is tax? Tax is a compulsory contribution to state revenue levied by the government on workers' revenue, business profits, or added to the cost of some goods, services, and transaction. So basically that's the definition of tax. And today, there are people who've complained that I talk English so much about in my videos that I need to maybe sometimes explain in Kiswahili. So leo ndajaribu, I talk also about this thing in Kiswahili where possible, ndachanganya so that it can make you understand them better, ndio utaelewa zaidi. Kwa hivyo taxes, wanasema higher taxes dampens the purchasing power of the people. The people who pay tax, once you increase tax, you reduce their spending power or purchasing power. Wakati mtu tax pesa yake ilikuwa 20,000, you tax it becomes he receives 17,000, umechukua 3,000 yake, you weaken that person in terms of spending. He cannot spend the way he was spending, so he has to do some readjustment to meet or to cover the tax you've taken away from him or her. And therefore today I want to talk about the reasons as to why I'm saying the government need to reduce taxes to spur economic growth in this country. Because I'll base on the purchasing power, and then the effect. It is called the multiplier effect and the stimulative effect the reduction of taxes has on the economy. So why am I saying we need to reduce taxes? First of all, maybe I give a historical background. In 2013, when Kibaki left when the economy was doing well, but now the other government, when they came in, they borrowed too much, and then they invested in the infrastructure and the loans that they are now eating into the government revenue, and therefore they are unable to meet some of the expenditures they are supposed to meet. and therefore, like the counties, you will experience some issues because the government is unable to generate revenue to meet those expenses. And therefore, if wakati taxes may reduce, there are two effects that this move will have on the economy. First of all, as a government, when we've decided that we are reducing the tax, the first effect we'll have is arithmetic. The first one, arithmetic, and then the second one is economic effect. The arithmetic effect is that the government, maybe you are planning to spend 2 billion, but we've realized we need to reduce this so that we can spur the economic activities in this country, or we need to boost businesses, and therefore you decide we'll spend 1.5 billion. So you need to cover that 500 billion, and therefore that's why you hear of austerity measure. You need to do things that will ensure you cover the deficit of the 500 billion you don't have. So when you do your math, you realize when we reduce the taxes by this percentage, will not meet the target of 2 billion. Therefore, we will receive 1.5 billion. And therefore, you try to put in measures to cover for the deficit of 500 billion. And those are the austerity measures. Maybe they merge some function, they reduce some more government officials, some function, they do away with some so that they can cover the deficit. And then the other one is economic effect. Economic effect is the long-term effect of your decision you've made to reduce the taxes. And this economic effect has some implication on the economy. First of all, when taxes are reduced, it increases the purchasing power of the taxpayers. Inaongeza uwezo wa ununuzi wa wale wanalipa ushuru. For example, Wanjala alikuwa anapokea 20,000 as his income ama salary, anapata 20,000. I want to explain. And then reduce the taxes. He was paying tax, maybe analipa 5,000. So his salary is 20,000. Then you reduce the tax. Now he was paying 5,000, he pays 3,000. So he has an extra 2,000. He was paying 20, he get a salary of 20,000. Then you tax him 5,000, he gets 15. He take home is 15,000. But now you've reduced tax. Now he's paying 3,000. So tax is moved from 5,000 to 3,000. So Wanjala has more 2,000 more to spend. So I want to see the effect of this 2,000 on Wanjala. Now Wanjala stays in an estate. So assuming we are all Wanjalas, maybe 122 million Wanjalas. Now Wanjala has 2,000 to spend. You've empowered him. You've given him 2,000 more to spend. Now maybe Wanjala was eating a quarter in a month, a quarter of meat in a month. I want to use meat as an example. You can use anything you want, but I want to use Wanjala is staying in Umoja and he has been eating a quarter because you charge him 5,000, but now you've reduced it to 3,000. Now he's getting 17,000. So you've given him 2,000. So we want to use, this is a hypothetical, but I want to use it as an example to demonstrate how the effect of reducing tax. So Wanjala has 2,000. What will Wanjala do? He will now, if he was eating meat quarter, maybe per month or twice or thrice, the Wanjala will increase the amount of consumption in terms of meat, beet, milk. You can use any example. Now he has been eating maybe thrice. Because of the 2,000, Wanjala will maybe eat 5 times, isn't it? So when the effect of Wanjala eating 5 times from 3 times has created some demand somewhere. So there is Njoroge somewhere who has a butchery. Now in that estate, maybe umoja. Now, because of increased demand, Njoroge is unable to meet the demand of these people. Because now maybe Esther, Kamau and other people are coming to buy more meat or milk, whatever you want to use. They are coming to buy more meat. So there is increased demand. This 2000 has created more demand for meat. So Njoroge, being a businessman, will realize, hey, there are more people. Watu wanakuja sana. Na inabidi nifunge saa sita so that I'm able to meet their needs. So Njoroge will open another branch. So assuming Njoroge opens another branch, or Njoroge opens 2 other branches to meet the demand of these people. Now Njoroge was paying 5,000, assuming he was paying tax as 5,000. But now when government reduced, he's paying 3,000. So there is an extra income. He opens another branch. He opens another branch to meet the demand of these people. And therefore it means when opening another branch, he has created a job opportunity for somebody else. So that somebody will be taking care of the other butchery. Maybe they can be 2, 3, 4. Assuming now the demand requires that we open 3 more butcheries in that Umoja estate because of increased demand. And mind you, now the government reduced taxes to all citizens. So Njoroge has more money to run his business. So he'll open other branches, thereby creating jobs. You understand? Now, there is these people who supply meat to Njoroge. Now they need to up their game so that they can meet the demand from Njoroge. So this thing has a multiply effect on the economy. It creates jobs and it increased the number of people who are being taxed. Now, when Njoroge employs more people, government will get tax from the new people Njoroge has employed. So these people will come out of the street. They will not be on the street to demonstrate. They have job opportunity. So you can imagine if this thing is spread in other sectors, maybe hotel, maybe other sectors, it will absorb some people. It will increase. First of all, it will increase the number of employees, the tax pool. Those people that wale serikali inatoa ushuru kwao, sababu wengine wameongezeka sababu ya Njoroge kufungua butchery ingine. You understand? So the government has more people to tax, and now there are more businesses opening up because of the reduction in the taxes that they were charging the people. So business opportunity will open up. Now that's where I was talking about stimulative. It stimulates the economy. It makes the economy open up, and therefore we will have more business opportunities, and more people will get job opportunities, and production will be required. Assuming it was milk, now the milk producers will increase their production because the demand has gone up. I don't know if you are getting, because if it was milk, kama ni KCC, itabidi toe maziwa mingi to meet the demand of the people whose salary have gone up because of reduction in the taxes. And mind you, government also get taxes from these producers, and therefore when the production goes up, it means taxes goes up. So this is the multiply effect of reducing the tax. Now I want to go back to the butchery. Now the butchery, they were one, and before Njoroge was paying 5,000. Let's say 5,000. Now because of tax reduction, it has cost 3 more to open. So we have in Umoja Estate 4 butcheries now paying 3,000. So 3,000 times 4, how much is that? 12. But initially Njoroge was the only one operating a butchery in Umoja, paying 5,000. But because of the reduction, now the government can comfortably receive 12,000 from the business of butchery in Umoja, and thereby it enhances their revenue collection, and therefore they need to think about these dynamics. Our economy is not like the one in America or other developed countries. Our situation is different. Our economy has some dynamics which we need to handle, and therefore we need homegrown solution. We need to look at things differently. We don't have income. We depend on, government doesn't have any other income apart from the taxes they are paying, and therefore they need to think outside the box. Don't use the examples of America and bring them here. Use the practical examples that can work. This is what Kibaki did, and that's why we were able to move. Kibaki borrowed very little money from outside, but the economy was working. And he was able to build the road, the highway we are seeing. And Uhuru came in, but he did not understand what happened for Kibaki to do all those things without borrowing that much. So he just borrowed so that he can ensure his legacy was better. Now, I want to go to another aspect apart from these taxes. Maybe in conclusion about taxes, let me say the opposite is true. When you increase taxes, you discourage people to spend. You reduce the spending power. So anything that I've said, when you increase, it will negate the gains of it becomes the opposite. It negates the positives we have when we reduce taxes. So the opposite is true about reducing taxes. So the opposite is true. So when you increase taxes, you discourage production, there is job cuts. There are so many things that happen. But when you reduce taxes, there are positives that comes with it. Therefore, as government, you need to think about this. Think about it seriously. It has worked elsewhere. The US in 1974, when Ronald Reagan was the president, he used this model and he was able to collect more from his people. So you need to try this so that we see how far we can go. It has worked elsewhere. It means with our economy, which is not that productive, we just depend on taxes. We need to think outside the box on how we can spur our economic growth, how we can increase our tax base so that we can collect more, and this is one of the ways. And lastly, there is this aspect of money circulation. Money circulation is a very important aspect in making the economy vibrant, making the economy work. For me, I think as a government, think of investing more in the youth. Youth they are the enablers of money circulation in an economy. If you give a youth money, he will spend on several things. But if you give money to an old man, he will think in terms of investment. He will think about maybe buying stock. He will think about a fixed deposit account. But a youth will think of paying school fees. He will think of hiring a cab. He will think of booking a room in a hotel. He'll think of so many. He will think of going to a Quivers, and by doing that, he will open up other opportunities for other sectors. And therefore, it's a high time you think about these things that make an economy vibrant. Otherwise, we continue this aspect of just increasing tax increase. It reaches a point. There is a point on the Laffer's curve. It is called optimal point, whereby the more increased tax, the more people are discouraged doing business. We don't want to reach there. We are operating at optimality. We cannot afford going more than that point. The more you go beyond that point, the more disastrous it becomes. Therefore, it is upon the leadership now in charge of this country, think about this. Think about other ways of ensuring that our economy is vibrant, economy is able to absorb more youth, the circulation of money in this country, so that we can have serious economic development, and economic development that is sustainable. Not just economic development that is sustainable. You can have an economy that is not sustainable. It's short term. We need economic development that is sustainable for the next 100, 300 years to come.